The outstanding advantages of the disc brake on commercial vehicles have led to its complete acceptance in international markets and left drum brakes on niche applications. There are more than 5 million Knorr-Bremse disc brakes on the roads of the world today, giving high brake performance even under extreme operating conditions. Minimal temperature fade, short reaction times and low hysteresis make them ideally suited for conventional and electronic braking systems. The second generation of Knorr-Bremse disc brake, the SN and SK series, is a result of international development with partners who are world leaders in commercial vehicle, trailer and axle manufacturing, building on the experiences of the successful SB series with over 5 million brakes in service. Advantages of the new series. Standard wheel sizes 17.5, 19.5 and 22.5 inches. Designed to be generally interchangeable with the earlier SB series. Optimized guide pin and adjuster sealing. Weight reduction of approximately 7%. Improved serviceability. Increased durability. Caliper is of monoblock construction without the highly stressed bolted joint. Despite the use of durable, extensively tested materials and components, it is necessary for the sake of safety that regular visual inspection is carried out on the wearing components of the brake assembly, such as brake pads and discs, as well as the seals. Before each inspection, the brake must be checked to ensure that there is running clearance between the pads and the disc. To check for running clearance, the caliper should be pushed and pulled as shown. Running clearance should be between 0.6 and 1.1 millimeters, and a clunk should be audible. 8 millimeters wear of the disc is allowed. This means that the thickness of the disc should not be less than 37 millimeters. Note, any specifications of the axle and vehicle manufacturers must also be observed. The disc must also be checked for damage and cracks. Heat cracking, as on this disc, is allowable, and there is no reason to change the disc. Splitting of a disc can occur in extreme cases, however, like here. Naturally, this disc must be replaced immediately. Knorr-Bremse has developed the splined disc, where the disc and hub are separate. Worn discs can be fractured while installed on the vehicle, and this enables disc replacement without the time spent dismantling the hub reduction gears on a drive axle. We recommend a regular inspection of the brake assembly on the basis of extended service intervals on modern high-performance vehicles. At the same time, it is also very important to check brake pad wear and to visually inspect the external seals, such as the adjuster cap, and the seals on the guide pins of the fixed and flexible caliper supports. Please note that special tools are needed for servicing the disc brake. The Knorr-Bremse toolkit contains all of the tools necessary to perform the recommended servicing, together with detailed service instructions and the service video. Use only genuine Knorr-Bremse spare parts and service kits. In principle, servicing of the disc brake is similar on all axles. However, accessibility will vary according to the application. The details of the part number label on the brake must be used to correctly identify matching service kits. The service, parking, and bus stop brakes must be released, but ensure that the vehicle is prevented from rolling away. You should follow the safety regulations regarding jacking up and securing of the vehicle. Now we will take you through the servicing. Firstly, remove the spring clip and washer of the pad retainer pin. By pressing down the pad retainer, the pin is released and can be removed easily. Afterwards, the pad retainer can be removed. The clearance between the tappets and the brake pad must be checked before each pad change. Push the caliper fully inwards. Measure the gap between the inner brake pad and the tappet using a feeler gauge. The gap should be between 0.6 and 1.1 millimeters. Remove the adjuster cap and, using a 10mm ring spanner, not an open-ended spanner, turn the adjuster shear adapter anti-clockwise. This is necessary to allow removal of the brake pads. The adjuster should be wound back about 2 or 3 clicks. Never turn the adjuster without the shear adapter fitted. If the adapter is damaged or burred, then it should be replaced. If the adjuster is turned without the shear adapter, then there is a risk that the adjuster will be damaged, and then the complete caliper will need to be replaced. The function of the adjuster can be checked visually by fitting a 10mm ring spanner to the shear adapter. The service brake is applied 5 to 10 times to a minimum of 2 bar, and the spanner should rotate clockwise in small increments if the adjuster is functioning correctly. As the number of brake applications increases, the incremental rotation will decrease. It is important to ensure that the ring spanner can rotate freely through 180 degrees. If the spanner is prevented from rotating, the adjuster or the adapter may shear. After the tappets have been wound back, the brake pads can be removed. The brake works on the floating caliper principle. Therefore, the freedom of the caliper to slide on the guide pins is vital. The caliper must be able to be pushed easily by hand along the whole length of the guide pin arrangement. It is very important to check the sealing boots, particularly for any heat damage, since they have an especially important role. They must not be ripped or show any signs of damage. It takes only the smallest leak to allow the penetration of dirt, road salt, and water into the internal brake mechanism, and corrosion of the internal parts could lead to the total failure of the brake. The checking of the boots must ensure that there are no hidden rips or damage in the folds by opening them out. If any damage is found, change the boots immediately. The price of a new boot is small in relation to that of a replacement caliper, possibly a braking defect or even vehicle damage. A defective tappet boot can be changed with the caliper fitted to the axle. To do this, use the wedge fork T15 from the toolkit. Screw in the adjuster shear adapter to expose the tappet boots. Take care not to screw out the tappets by more than 30 millimeters. Remember that if the tappets are screwed out more than 30 millimeters, then synchronization of the two tappets is no longer guaranteed, and the caliper will need to be replaced. With a screwdriver, prise out the tappet boot and, with the wedge fork, remove the tappet from the threaded tube. Afterwards, use the adjuster to wind back the threaded tube. Remove the inner seal with a screwdriver. Also, remove the old tappet bush. Fit a new brake pad in the outboard position and use the adjuster to screw out the threaded tube until its end touches the disc. Inspect the threaded tube for corrosion and damage.